And joining me now to talk about the candidates and their campaigns, what their plans are, NBC correspondent Mike Memoli covering the Biden campaign, and Washington Post White House bureau chief Phil Rucker, of course, covering the White House. Well, Phil, first to you, because we see the president clearly not as confident, shall we say. He was really defensive about the Jeff Goldberg story. The Atlantic has been hammering away all week, still going on that, trying to claim that he has not said things that we have actually seen him say about John McCain and others, but also using every brick and stone in the White House, the North Portico now, for a Labor Day news conference. They've done the RNC, using every advantage of incumbency beyond what has ever been done before.
That's right, Andrea. And we saw yesterday the president at that news conference. It was really more of an airing of grievances and his personal feelings, his frustrations, his anger with the media, with his perceived opponents. And we've seen this time and again throughout his presidency, but it speaks to perhaps his anxiety about being behind in these polls. Perhaps it has to do, that anxiety may be coming from a cash problem. The New York Times had some explosive reporting out today about just how the Trump campaign had burned through that $1 billion war chest advantage he had over Biden. But we're seeing the president out on the road. He's heading down to Florida right now. He's going to be doing an official event talking about the environment, and then, of course, doing more of a campaign style rally in North Carolina this evening. He's got rallies and campaign events throughout the week. He's really trying to amp up his presence on the campaign trail.
And at that news conference yesterday, when he went after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, using the White House grounds to do political attacks, even that is so unusual. Mike Memoli, I have to say, watching you closely and all of the coverage yesterday, I was so surprised at the Joe Biden campaign. It's Labor Day. He's usually at a parade in Pittsburgh, as you know better than anyone, because you're keeping up with him running along the sidelines. Yeah. And they couldn't figure out a way virtually safely to do something that was a little bit bigger and more connected than what they did with the AFL-CIO yesterday?
Yeah, Andrea, I think both last week and now this week we're getting a sort of a picture of what the campaign looks like for Joe Biden. That was 3 days of public events and then the rest of the week carried by surrogates and also virtual campaigning. Yesterday, we saw them in that backyard conversation in Lancaster County with both union members and veterans, and then later a virtual conversation with union members across the country. Andrea, it certainly lacks the dynamism, the energy of campaigns that you and I have covered together in the past, but the Biden campaign says, listen, the number one issue voters say for them in this election is the coronavirus, and Biden has a significant advantage among those voters, and they say it's exactly because of what we saw yesterday, is Biden modeling responsible behavior, socially distant with those veterans and union workers in the backyard, virtual conversation elsewhere. We'll see him in Michigan tomorrow. Also, we expect to be focusing on the economy, another issue that they think they've made up significant ground on the president on. And that's really, I think, a window into that strategy. They think rather than holding the kind of super spreader events that we've seen with the president at campaign, flying into an airplane hangar, that's what voters are making their decision about. They're 100% confident that that continues to be what the election will be decided on. But obviously, a lot of folks want to see more. And real quick, Andrea, it's been interesting to me. When I go to cover these events, obviously, we're outside. We're not able to be inside most of the time. The campaign is not even advertising the locations of these events, but what has been happening is crowds are building nonetheless. Yesterday in Harrisburg, there was several dozen people, both pro-Trump and pro-Biden, out on that street. Biden has been reluctant even to come out and sort of wave at those crowds because they don't want to be seen as encouraging the same kind of public gatherings that health officials say we should not be having, barring some miraculous turnaround with the pandemic this year.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.